God, has it been? It's been quite a while, right? Good old fashioned midnight run. Hello, folks. Danoby2 here. I had thought about doing an evening run earlier tonight, but I was like, you know what? Let me reach out to the folks that are typically normal, that do attend the midnight runs, and I also wanted to give Hot Toys just a little bit more time, just in case, right? Just in case they dropped a little bit more. But look, it was Thursday. It's Friday morning, it's Friday midnight, and clearly the talk of the town is going to be the Grand Inquisitor that was just announced by Hot Toys. This is such a peculiar one here. This is very odd. I'm still processing as to how I should accept it. Should I be happy for it? Should I? I don't know. It's a very big mixed bag. Let me address the comments, the midnight checks. I like to see where I'm reaching out to around the world. Midnight starts at Stephen Bamford, Hastings, Great Britain, 8 a.m. Baffled by Howard's revelation. You you worked. Yeah. All right. Calm down. 10 points. All right, 7. That's pretty good. Yeah, that really does deserve 10 points. That was pretty cool. 3 a.m. from Inquisitorium. I'm assuming East Coast shenanigans. Damn, no Mafia. I'm out. Beskar Kid Mafia has a migraine. He's just not in the mood right now. Hello again from Portland, Oregon. Abraham Mustafa. It's always a pleasure, sir. Always a pleasure. Thank you for hanging out on a midnight run here. Polo Ralph floor. You almost hit the threshold for 10 points just on the clever name there. 3 a.m. from New York. Very nice. Hello from Long Beach, California. Midnight here, and my wallet had also barely survived a chest stab. And my God, it sure does. It sure does feel like that, doesn't it? Greetings from Amsterdam, the Netherlands. Finally caught us stream live. 9 a.m. in the morning there. Very cool. Captain Zuda, pleasure for you to join. Shane Despain, 3 a.m. Kentucky. Always a pleasure, Shane. Thank you for joining. Man, where do I start? Somebody posted a comment on my Instagram post. Master Skywalker, there's too many of them. What are we going to do? That's what's going through my head right now, because this is a lot. Folks, make no mistake. This is overwhelming. I don't even know who's left collecting Hot Toys anymore. I'm hoping the onslaught of pre-order announcements and releases and so forth hasn't spooked most of you Hot Toy collectors out there back into Black Series. But that being said, though, the Black Series is, they have their own issues and problems with cancellations and delays and all sorts of wackiness there. Christian Detour Collections, let the bashing begin. Checking in South Korea, 4 p.m. Welcome, Christian. Welcome. Look, this, again, I started off, this is such a weird one. And it's even priced to sell. It really is. It's got the price, the Hong Kong pre-order price. It's listed at $15.90. I added the Sideshow 29% rounded off. So this is more of an estimate. But if it does go on pre-order tomorrow with Sideshow, it's probably going to be around $260. I took the Hong Kong price and I added about 29%. I was doing 30%. I brought it down because it's been fluctuating between 28 and 29%. That's what we call the Sideshow tax. That's their resale kickback there. The Geeking Out showing up. Very nice. Look at you, the man, legend. Danoby chilling at work. Like, subscribe, enjoy. Always a pleasure. Always a pleasure. Yeah, this is going to be one of those ones where I don't know how it's going to be welcomed, because the problem is that with the Obi-Wan Kenobi show, the way it's aging, it feels, at least from my point of view, it feels like the community is building resentment towards the show, right? Like the further away we get away from the last episode, it almost feels like the love and the affection for the show is also being swooped up with it. So this is going to be one of those. It looks great, doesn't it? LED light up chest armor and luminous reflective effect on belt. I'm assuming that means that the belt's not going to have LED lights on it. It'll be reflective, but the chest does light up for that one little red LED light in the front right there. So there's going to be a little bit of electronics. I'm assuming the lightsaber is going to light up. I don't know if it's going to have the USB feature to it. With this type of price, though, I wouldn't be surprised if it was not included, and they resort to the button cell method on this one. Seems that they may be holding on to that technology more for their deluxe line, more for the, say, like the Darth Vader. The Darth Vader, I believe, is going to be, this is the deluxe version. There's a regular version of Darth Vader, and then there's the deluxe version, LED light up figure base, interchangeable control panel. This is the cat's meow here for Darth Vader here. It even comes with a little impressive Imperial Hot Toy sideshow price. This one here is unique. This one here, I don't know if I'm going to need this one, to be honest with you. I thought I did when it was first announced, and I feel as we approach the anniversary for Return of the Jedi, I'm almost just tempted to wait for that version. Vader, I mean, it would make sense that we would get the slight variant Return of the Jedi Darth Vader. The problem is that with us collectors, we always tend to move on to the new, shinier thing. And if they do announce a Return of the Jedi Darth Vader, this one may be debatable. It just is. Just is. But look, the main focus is the let's not beat around the bush here. Grand Inquisitor looks great. We have the Vader here. That's the Anakin Skywalker Vader, which I'm still wondering how they're going to pull off the whole body and height issue, because Hayden Christensen is like, what, 100 pounds less than David Prowse, who wore the suit, also height and weight. So I don't know. This is good. I mean, he was even wearing platform boots during the fight sequences with Obi-Wan Kenobi on the show. So I'm assuming they're just going to use the same body that was used for the Empire Strikes Back Darth Vader, and just include the slight modifications on the outfit and the new head sculpt, the new with the helmet that's cracked open. But they're teasing Reba here. This is another unique situation here, because I didn't think they were going to release the Grand Inquisitor. I really did not. I didn't. I just thought it was just an empty flex. But now that he's been released in a pre-order, now I have to take Reba back there seriously now, because at first I thought, well, they're just flexing her off. They don't know. But moving forward with this new Hot Toys situation, you can't assume that anymore. You really, really, really can't. Let's do a little Backmore check-in. Oh, Andre, United Kingdom, 8 a.m. running late here. Ecto 1701, hello, Belgium, 905, very nice. And now we're collecting announcements. It sure feels like that. Remember last year when we were collecting pre-orders? Now we're kind of collecting announcements. The difference is that collecting announcements don't tend to hurt as much on the wallet as actually just with that trigger finger on day one pre-orders. A big difference, right? We can look, we can go ooh, we can go ah. The question is that when they drop, are we going to go? I'll take one, please. It's a tough one. It's a tough one. I would probably agree with you, Shane. I would probably agree that I'm going to wait for the discounts. I'm not that keen on the Grand Inquisitor now. Like if it was just released right now, hey, Danoby, you can buy a Grand Inquisitor now at the retail price with shipping and tax. I don't know if I would be itching to add it into my collection. Just because we have over 50 plus releases and pre-orders just for Star Wars alone, not even counting Marvel or DC. So to move forward on a, can I say subpar character? Because he wasn't written very well. He showed up in the beginning. He shows up in the end, throws, some sass and tries to teach Reba a lesson. And then he's kind of like gone again. So did he was the character, did he get enough screen time for you to take a leap of faith as far as adding him to your collection, or have you moved on from the series? I guess we're just gonna have to wait. I would say right now, I would say no, but I could also see myself changing my mind moving forward a year from now. If he's sitting discounted and Sideshow is throwing 10, 20% rewind coupons or a spectacular, yeah, I could probably see that. I can probably see myself moving forward on that. What do we have here? Negan X Army, what's up, Danoby? 206 from the Panhandle of Florida, checking in. 2:06 a.m. Welcome. Nate, what do you USB powered lightsaber like the DX Vader and Kenobi? I like how Hot Toys isn't solely keeping the USB powered lightsabers limited to the DX line. So, are you implying that we're going to be getting the USB lightsaber with the Grand Inquisitor? Because I didn't think we were. Let's take a look here. Are they advertising it? Oh, there they are. I stand corrected. There it is. LED lightsaber powered by USB. So they're bringing in that technology. They're going to make it standard that if you want to have your lightsaber on it all the time, I mean, these are low-powered LED lights. The risk of burning them out if you're plugging in through USB are probably very minimal. So that's not bad. It definitely does add more credibility to what I was saying earlier on if you're investing into module cases or even just simply DTOFs. Adding USB plugs to each of the chambers in the units moving forward are going to be a must. Just is. If you are waiting on your pre-order of module cases to come in, moving forward, you should definitely plan on just adding multiple USB plugs. Don't ask yourself, well, I don't have anything that requires it. It does not matter. You definitely want to add the USB plugs from the very beginning. And the reason for that is that these units are very heavy. They're difficult to move. I can tell you the ones right behind me, when the little spotlights burnt out, I had to remove everything out. It was a day event. I had to remove the driver. It was just cumbersome. It was annoying, and I didn't even add the USB plugs because I didn't even have the plugs, meaning that I was jacking so many plugs behind these units simply because of the LED drivers. I didn't even want to risk it. I didn't even want to go down that road. But the newer module cases on the left and the right, they definitely do have USB plugs on each of the floors so that if I ever add anything into them, they will absolutely be prepared, future-proofing, right? We are essentially future-proofing our displays. And if you don't have module cases and you're using DTOFs, you would probably still want to figure out a way to slip in a USB plug into a DTOF. The only situation with a DTOF is that they don't look very pretty when you have way too many cables and wires running up and down them, and you're already compounded tons of LED strip lights, and then you're trying to figure out an outlet through, well, how would you even fit? I guess you can fit it through the crack of the actual glass panels to squeeze it in. And that could probably be acceptable. Let's see here. Grand Inquisitor will look good besides Vader. Difficult choice for sure. Look, I like my Vader. I do. I feel I have the definitive Vader. I do. I look in here. I feel like I have the definitive Obi-Wan Kenobi, and I have the Empire Strikes Back Vader right there. Some of us may want 2 Obi-Wan Kenobis, and typically if the market wasn't so saturated and if it wasn't so crowded, I'd be more inclined to include the Obi-Wan Kenobi that was that's from the show, that was just teased from the show. It is dubiously questionable on the sculpt. It doesn't look like it's their best because they're adding the rolling eyeball feature on them. But that's one where I'm just going to wait till it arrives. I'm going to see what the community, the first pawns who go out and buy that actual Kenobi and see what they think about. Because for Star Wars and the 50 plus figures that we have right now, I would rather add a Star Wars character that I don't have. For example, would I rather add Kenobi from the TV show or a clone commander that I do not have in my collection? I would probably lean more towards the clone commander just so that I can at least have a character representation of that individual or character into my collection. I can't go down the road of collecting 2 or 3 different Darth Vaders, 3 or 4, or even Obi-Wan Kenobi. How do I not know if Hot Toys decides to release a Obi-Wan Kenobi from Attack of the Clones, or even the Phantom Menace, where he was just a lot younger, right? And I've painted myself into a corner buying Kenobi from the Disney Plus show. Now I have 2 Kenobis, and now they've released an Attack of the Clones Kenobi, or even a Phantom Menace Kenobi, right? For, I don't know, 30th anniversary or some other wacky anniversary excuse. It gets difficult. Well, then I can say, well, then you can sell it. Well, I'll be doing exactly what everybody else is doing, right? I'll be doing exactly, you can just sell everything, and then you're kind of just, it doesn't work like that, unfortunately. The idea is to always be one step of the community or the pre-orders. Otherwise, you're doing exactly what everybody else is doing, and then it turns into something like this.
Yes, I'd say it's a full-scale panic. Are you having a run on the bank scare yet? Well, it's rather brutal here. We're advising our clients to put everything they've got into canned food and shotguns.
I love that meme. I'm not gonna lie, because that's exactly what I feel like I've been hearing the last couple of weeks. It just feels like it's just a lot of buy and sell, buy and sell. What's going on? Co-recollection, when it's that's why I can always rely on Justin and Joey to say never, and the opposite happens. I think Hot Toys will do less of every figure because the buy to sell one collector is dying. There will be less demand, and it's dark period. You have to be wide awake. Yeah. It's changing. It sure is. It is a different. It's definitely a different market right now. Indeed, it is. We have here bargain bin for sure. Return of the Jedi. Return of the Jedi will be my definitive Vader for me. 160X would be a glorious purpose. Yeah. I mean, I guess the question is, how many Vaders do you want? Right? Unless you're the collector that's going to buy every Star Wars Hot Toys figure and you have a museum style room to house them all, most of us are probably not going to get every Hot Toy Star Wars figure. Me personally, I would like to, but I kind of know I'm not. So I have to set the top priority as to which ones are going to be added into my collection. I would say it's a safe bet to assume that we're going to get a Return of the Jedi Darth Vader. It just feels like we are. The anniversary is next year, it would be a missed cash cow opportunity from Hot Toys if they didn't take advantage of that, right? We've got the Andor bike, we've got an Andor Luke, Andor Leia. I don't know if we're ever going to see a Andor General Han Solo. It'd be nice. I don't hold my breath for that, but the anniversary is inbound. Pulp Viking, you have no faith into the Grand Inquisitor. He'll be 100 USD on Toys Wonderland when released. Assuming that Toys Wonderland will still be around next year. Thoughts and prayers, folks. The three guys begging for this will pre-order. You're out of control. Jesus, Kenobi Attack of the Clones would be cool. And then some, wouldn't it? Right? I can't be the only one. You have to look with this new variant Hot Toys strain that we're all being subjected to. You have to almost plan. You have to stay one step ahead. You just have to, right? You can't really you really can't complain about the price, right? It's $15.90 hot Hong Kong price. Estimated sideshow price is $260. So it is on par with the current ongoing. I mean, if you want to be more definitive, it's still going to be a $300 Hot Toys figure once you add some tax and some shipping. If you decide to purchase and pre-order it through Sideshow. So $300 is still a big fat pill to swallow. I don't know. I kind of like my Kenobi here. You know, I kind of like this guy right here. This guy seems to be hello there. All right. It's kind of Anakin there. He's just right in front of Lord Vader, right? It's just, I don't know. And do we? I have the definitive Vader right here. We have Vader right. I have to start being picky. That's the problem. And there's going to be collectors out there, right? There's going to be collectors out there that are going to want every Vader. That's more than fine. And some of these collectors are probably not going to invest in the small scale vehicles. It's kind of picking your battles. For me, I don't want to miss out on these vehicles. I don't. And I guess the argument could be, well, they could reissue it. Well, sure, they could probably reissue the vehicle in a different color variant or 10 years down the road, like they did with the Tumbler. I would rather focus on the now than the later when it comes to these pre-orders. That's just me personally. And then the big question here, Reba, right? Such a controversial character. Just tons of missed opportunity. There was one thing, if I had a personal fantasy, is I wish I could have been part of the writing team on this show, because it looked like they had set her up for some really grandiose, they really put her on a stage. And that was and it's a shame though, because I think if there's one thing I took away from the Kenobi show is that me personally, I wanted to learn more about this subsection of the Sith, right? I wanted to learn more about the Inquisitors. I wanted to learn more about this, first sister, third brother, and the whole hierarchy. I even enjoyed that one scene where there was squabbling, where they were trying to compete for Vader's love. I wanted more of that. The problem is that it wasn't the Grand Inquisitor show or the Inquisitor show. It was the Kenobi show. And being on Disney Plus with such a limited budget, there was only so much that you can do. Everything, this whole concept of Star Wars being on Disney Plus, it's all brand new. We've never experienced anything like this before. It's not something that we can use history to judge upon, right? Because it's part of the streaming wars. It's all It's all different. It's with all these streaming services, they're all trying to compete for your dollar. Disney Plus, Hulu, Netflix, YouTube Premium. The list goes on and on. Paramount Plus, and it becomes really difficult. Look, I'm probably gonna sleep on Andor. I don't really look forward to seeing Andor. Andor, the whole idea seems pointless. I guess with Star Wars is that I'm looking for a benefit. What is the benefit of the Andor show, right? Cassian Andor. He was a jerk in Rogue One. I didn't really care for his character. I didn't care for his dialogue and the brash attitude. And then in the end, he kind of dies anyway. Bye. For me, when I walked out of the theater, I felt the movie was okay, and I forgot about him. I even forgot about Jen Erso. A lot of it was forgettable. It had cutting edge special effects. The K2SO was a clever character. Jen Erso, it feels like it was just choppy because it went through swappable directors. And the fact that it's being re-released in theaters, and people were asking me if I'm going to go see. I'm like, why? I saw the first one in theaters once, and that was it. Coming to find out, a few of my close friends like, yeah, I saw it 3 times in theaters. I'm like, why? It didn't provide that repeatable. I saw it a couple of times on media and on Disney Plus. I've probably seen it 3 times total. But I just don't see the value in investing in Andor. Just everybody dies, right? That's what happens when you stretch out a character that's been painted into a corner, right? And you are left over like, well, cool, people are asking for more of this. Well, you kind of killed them off, right? It's very different with Kenobi. Even though we know Kenobi dies in A New Hope, we've grown with his story arc. Kenobi had 3 films, prequel films, right, to establish that. And the way Kenobi ended was he was left on Tatooine to babysit baby Luke Skywalker, and that was it. You painted the character into a corner there. They also did that with Boba Fett, right? George Lucas multiple times has confessed he was a throwaway character. Oh, but he's a fan favorite, so let's pull him out of the Sarlacc pit and see what we can do with him. Well, that's what happens when you decide to expand on a character that on paper has been painted into a corner. You get that. That's what you get. So I don't know. We'll have to kind of keep an eye on how the community reacts to this, because I tend to call bullshit now with the community and just talks and influencers who say that they're going to get this, and then a year down the road, when this guy goes into shipping and invoices, who's going to still be around to commit, and who's going to want to keep them? Because I just don't see Kenobi having a longevity. He's not getting a season 2. And a year down the road, when this guy's finally released, it's going to be a year. I don't even think it's going to be a 2-year. I think this guy's going to be a quick pump and dump. I really do. If the excitement is still going to be there. And then poor Reba. It's not her fault. It's not the actress's fault that she was written so poorly, right? I would probably get Reba. If they released Reba as a Hot Toys, I would probably be more inclined to get Reba over the Grand Inquisitor. I probably would. I'd like to probably get both, but I know I'm not going to be able to buy all of the Star Wars Hot Toys simply because I'm still committed to DC and I'm still committed to Marvel. So I have to be a little bit more nitpicky and conservative when it comes to Star Wars Hot Toys. That's just how my collection is. I have Marvel, I have Star Wars, So I can't get everything. So I have to kind of just go nitpick, which ones do I want? Which ones do I want? And I just have to start realizing that I just need to be somewhat content. Now, that being said, though, with R2 and the droids, I definitely will be getting the Attack of the Clones R2-D2, because that R2 right there, it is a Hot Toys, but it is the Force Awakens R2, which is the generic bland version. So that, to me, I can see value. I know, well, it's different. It's going to be the Attack of the Clones. It'll have the jet packs. It'll have that benefit, that uniqueness, right? Even though C-3PO is based off of Attack of the Clones, and everybody is going around saying, well, I would rather wait for the New Hope version, Danoby. I would just rather wait for the New Hope. Now, never assume anything with Hot Toys or any 1/6 scale company. I've been there. I've heard it. I've just, history just really, honestly, it just tends to repeat itself. It just does.
I was there, Gandalf. I was there 3,000 years ago.
If I had $1 every time someone would say, I'm going to wait for the next version to come out, and then it never does. It happens all the time. It happens even if it's not Hot Toys, it's another company. It just does. Hot Toys already has a history of incomplete sets. The fact that we're getting Cyborg to complete the Justice League, well, shit, that's a Christmas miracle right there in itself. What do we have here? Let's look at the comments and see what here. Anything? Design itself of Reba is okay. It's just the writing. Yeah, that's pretty much what it is, isn't it? Kenobi was supposed to be about Luke Skywalker, but Kathleen Kennedy changed it at the last minute. Yeah, I mean, and if this is true, right? Let's just assume it's true. I'm getting kind of tired of playing the hindsight excuse, right? Because we did that with Book of Boba Fett, and so are we going to do this for Andor too? Well, when Andor turns out to be a dud, are we going to start making excuse? You see the point, right? It doesn't. It doesn't. So even if it was, it's done is done. The milk has been spilled, right? Making excuses, which this could probably be true, doesn't matter. No one cares. The show's fizzled. It was a candle. The wax melted and it fizzled out. It could have been all sorts of things. Typically, when you start a TV show, there's multiple pitches, right? And then when you have a team of writers, their job is to go in and dissect and kind of Lego piece of the story arc, right? And that's why there's multiple writers on a show. If it was just one single writer, it'd be different. But when you have a committee of writers, it's, well, we could have gone this way. Well, we were supposed to go left, and instead of we went right. Doesn't matter. It's all spilled milk at this point. It's not going to save Kenobi. It's not. We're getting a season 2. What the damage has been done. The Klingon moon of Praxis has been destroyed. That's it. Andor will surprise you, sir. Well, I'll have to take your word for it then, Sir Stephen Eads. Yeah. Kato Moko Lopez, LOL, totally disagree. Can't wait for Andor. Loved Rogue One. Hey, I can't deny that Rogue One made money, right? It did. I mean, there was an audience for it. It sold a few Hot Toys, didn't it? Right? It did what it set out to do. It was a profitable film. It set the tone. It's very different. Had a different feel and flair for it. So I thought the film was okay. Rogue One I thought was okay. But again, they're using characters from Rogue One, which I thought were very wooden and hollow. There's nothing there for me to care about anything, right? Cassian Andor, right? How, when you think of Rogue One, do you think of Jyn Erso or do you think of Cassian Andor? Just have to ask yourself. Just think about that, right? It wasn't his film. He was a supporting character, wasn't he? And he was a jerk in the film too, right? But I mean, he has his own show, so I mean, we can clearly they can spend more time in developing his character, so that we can learn more about him, right? Kind of like what they did with Falcon and the Winter Soldier TV show, right? Kind of add in weaknesses, emotional weaknesses and arcs, so that we can be more sympathetic to his plight. Sure, if you want to go down that road. Not for me, though. I really hope the live-action Ahsoka comes with a USB sabers. I feel like we're not, and both are just going to be a dead-looking lightsaber. It's good, but we don't know that, right? The live-action Ahsoka, that would be a generous contribution from Hot Toys if they provided that type of technology to the Rosario Dawson figure. I mean, hell, it's almost $400. You think it would? They could grandfather it in. That'd be a nice welcome surprise if they did something like that. They absolutely could. Disney needs to stop with politics and go into a galaxy far, far away mode. Well, when their profits start to dwindle, right? Because that's what happened with the sequel trilogy. Took that right turn, and they really pivoted, and they kind of like put the brakes on the cinematic. See, it's easier for them to take more risks and gamble on a Disney Plus show versus the cinematic, because the Star Wars films are so friggin' expensive. So they didn't reach their profit goals with the sequel trilogy as what they thought they were. So they're going with a different venue right now. So Disney Plus, it's going to clearly be the way of the future there. Yeah. What do we have here? Yeah, I wonder if there will be the fifth brother. Yes, I know which one you're talking about. That would be interesting. Would there be market support? See, there's a difference of saying that we would like a character to be made, and then whether or not that making that specific character in 1/6 scale would be profitable. We can say that, well, I would buy. Well, sure, I believe it, Christian, if you said that but would there be a mass market appeal to it, right? Because there's a lot of characters right now that are sitting on the bargain bin on Sideshow that I was under the impression that the community was looking forward to, and they didn't step up to bat. They were asked to bat. Hey, you pre-order this, and now you've changed your mind, right? So that demand for the characters that we thought people were going to lean towards too doesn't seem to be there. It just doesn't. And there's a lot. Remember, it's not just Hot Toys out there that has skin in the game. It's multiple other companies. It's X06. It's Sideshow Collectibles in our 1/6 scale line. It's Mondo Tees, and then we have InArt in the background fundraising on their fourth figure, which to date they have not released one yet. So there's a lot of players, and I just deep down in my heart I go, one of these players isn't going to make it to the finish line, right? There's only so much of a market to go around. You would think that there would be, but everybody's putting out a lot of good shit, and we've already seen discount bargain bin characters from Marvel and Star Wars, from both sides. So I'm playing it safe. I'm watching from behind the fence. I just am. I'm still buying, but I am clipping coupons now. I'm looking for the free ship. Who's going to give me no tax? And that's U.S. sellers and Hong Kong sellers, minus TW, because there's a lot of great, respectable Hong Kong resellers out there that I've had no issues or qualms with from purchasing from. So this is where we at. This is what we are feeling the side effects of the 2020 pre-orders is what's going on right now. We're never going to run out of that Toontown Ahsoka. We're never going to run out of that Captain Rex. Everybody thought Captain Rex was going to be the next best thing since sliced bread. We're never going to run out of Captain Rex for a very long time. Ahsoka's for a very long time. Lando Calrissian is bargain bin on a couple trusted Hong Kong resellers already. Moff Gideon seems to be headed in that direction. So this is tough. It's tough, and I applaud Sideshow for their tactics on their timed special pre-orders. I don't buy any of it though. I don't. I'm still pretty confident I'll still be able to get all their Sideshow exclusives in the end, because I know collectors. I know how some collectors can be very flaky. They'll pre-order something and they'll get buyer's remorse, or life happens, meaning, their car may break down, there's a baby in the family, or just something, just life happens, right? Or buyer's remorse where they're overwhelmed and they're like, you know what? I don't think I want this figure anymore. That's what's been happening the last year. That's why a lot of retailers are starting to change their policy when it comes to pre-orders, meaning that if you pre-order this, we're gonna keep your deposit and then some. So just, it is what it is. I don't like it though. I really don't. I am Legend 000. I don't know if it will surprise Danoby since he thinks Rogue One is okay. Yeah, I don't plan on watching Andor. I really don't. The whole Kenobi thing, it was really exhausting. It was like mentally, emotionally, it kind of broke me. The whole Kenobi, it was just, and then there was just a lot of bad actors out there. There was a lot of misdirection. There was a lot of finger pointing with Kenobi. There was a lot of exaggerated wokeness that just, it soured the whole experience. It really, really did. It left me tired. I'm like, and at the show started off great, and I didn't enjoy it. And the worst fans are the Star Wars fans, and compared to Marvel, they tore that poor show apart. They just dissected it, and when they didn't find what they were looking for, they just kept digging deeper and deeper, going down the rabbit hole. I was just looking for a good story. I just was, and it was just, it felt empty. I mean, for crying out loud, Obi-Wan Kenobi had a child underneath his trench coat on an Imperial hangar, sneaking out in front of stormtroopers. Like, I'm even embarrassed to even share that with anybody outside of the Star Wars community. He's like, oh, so did you like the Kenobi show? Like someone who did, like, that's like Scooby-Doo shit. And then a couple of rundown snow speeders comes in and rescues them, while in the background there's like TIE fighters hanging from the ceiling. Snow speeders don't even have shield generators, and even if they did, it just, no. I just, that whole situation, that whole scene, I cringe every time I think of Kenobi. I think of that one scene. I think of the one scene where no, and then he's in that corridor where they're underwater and the tube is breaking, and then when he runs through the sliding glass doors, he's not even wet. It defied all logic. It was just, oh my God, it was just horrible writing. It's just bad. I can't be the only one that just saw that. I really can't. This is right here. This is why I just need, hello. Hello there. Right? This is, I'm gonna have to make this work. I'm just gonna have to make this work. Look, I'm gonna have to play some Chicken Little here. Let me find something here really quick. little bit of Chicken Little here. I need to remind you kids out there of what we are. Maybe it's this one. I think it's this video here. I need to finish this video. Let me see if this works. All right. This was my trip at San Diego Comic. There's a lot of stuff. We as collectors, we tend to forget how much crap has been pre-ordered, released from Hot Toys. There's a lot. This is the quarter pounder Boba Fett from Hot Toys here, where I call bullshit on the popularity of this character. I think he's going to sit forever. I think once this guy drops like a ton of bricks, he's going to sit forever. Then we're getting the reissue of this guy here, the Heavy Mandalorian, because he was he had a second appearance on the Book of Boba Fett show, I believe, right? Then we have the Wonder Twins here, right? Fox, Grows, and Starbuck, right? Starbuck, Koskari X Wolves. So that's not Starbuck. That's her girlfriend. Which I'm going to be getting. I joke and I pick on this, but I'm going to be getting this. I am. Then we have the K2SO, right? That everybody who claimed that they loved Rogue One, they didn't get him the first time, but we're going to get him now. Then we have these little wonderful, adorable little droids that are going to rape my wallet because I'm going to buy multiples of them because I love droids. My weakness has always been Star Wars droids. I've always lobbied against, hey, Sideshow or Hot Toys, make some more droids. I love the droids. You want to take my money? Give me droids. A pit droid and a BD7, absolutely. Give me some of that stuff. Look at that, R5 with a D4 with a bad motivator, but this one's based off of the Book of Boba Fett. I'll take one of those. Yeah, why not? Why not? Wait a minute. Hold on. I'm over here rambling here. I just saw a super chat coming in here. Hold on. I tend to, Andre. What do we have here? Thank you. Well, no question, Andrew. Well, you know what? Thank you for the super chat, Andre. And let me issue a personal thank you.
Wow, thank you so much for the super chat. Danoby extends his gratitude for your support. Trust knowing your contribution helps. Bye-bye. Wow.
Always a pleasure. Thank you, Andre. I thought you had a question there. Thank you so much for the super chat. All right, what was I ranting about here? Cad Bane. Good old Cad Bane. I've known of Cad Bane. I haven't seen him in the show yet because I am allergic to the Book of Boba Fett. I feel like if I see the show, I'll break out in hives. But I do like Star Wars aliens. I really, really do. I'm very keen on building a Star Wars universe. Like I love the whole Stormtrooper kick that they have going on here, and even with the Bad Batch. But the whole idea with Star Wars is that it's always been a diverse universe. So I'm all about the droids, and I'm all about the aliens too. Nothing wrong with that. This is from the Bad Batch. I have not seen the show. I saw the first couple episodes, and I'm like, yeah, it's a little bit too Toontown for me. So I decided to move on from it. I'm not even sure if I'm going to get these characters, but you know my weakness. Give me some free shipping and no tax and some coupons, and I am more likely to tip over Nad. I forgot her name, but I know she's from the Book of Boba Fett. And then that's is that a Dark Trooper? I can't keep up. I mean, they're constantly changing outfits here. We have the armor, and then we have this guy here. And then we have the audio animatronic Kenobi here, which was seen at the show. And yeah, the more I stare at this guy, I'm like, wow, what? I get it. I applaud them for adding new technologies into this guy, but I'm gonna have to wait. I'm going to have to wait, and I'm going to need some coupons and some incentives. Otherwise, I'm fine with my Revenge of the Sith. Obi-Wan Kenobi right below there. This is the KX Enforcer. He's coming home. Oh, I don't know if I'll be buying 2 of them. I would like to, but I don't think I'll be able to swing it, though, because there's just too much stuff to buy. We have Luke here. This is the Iron Studios Luke here. I thought that was a unique one there. Quarter scale, too. Quarter scale. So, and then Iron Studios, I went on a little bit of a rant with Iron Studios on my last video that I uploaded. I wasn't too happy with the DeLorean that they were asking $2,500. I love Back to the Future. I am devoted to Back to the Future, but I did not appreciate that they were gouging the Back to the Future fans. And here we go. Ash Chase, thank you so much, sir, for the $5. Hey, Danoby, did you watch She-Hulk? And what are your thoughts on the first episodes? Oh, sidetracking me. You know what? I feel like I'm being a little bit negative, so I'll do a little bit of a sidetrack here, and I will spend just a little bit of time on She-Hulk, even though I really wanted to devote a midnight run to Star Wars. So let me share some things with you.
Wow, thank you so much for the super chat. Danoby extends his gratitude for your support. Trust knowing your contribution helps. Bye-bye.
I gotta tell you something. I fucking love She-Hulk. I loved it. I loved the write-in from the first episode. I was even happy with the Disney Plus budget on the special effects. You cannot expect cinematic special effects on the Disney Plus show. It would not be fair. They are working on a tighter, stringent budget for She-Hulk. I like her introduction. I even like her fourth wall. I thought she would have broken the fourth wall a couple more times. But otherwise, I look forward to picking her up as a Hot Toys. Absolutely. The first episode didn't really spoil a lot. I mean, it was just her introduction. It's just how she becomes She-Hulk. So it's not even worth spoiler free. It's just, look, this is how she becomes the She-Hulk. That's it. And her dealing with her powers. No spoiler needed. It was a really good, and plus it was short. These episodes are so short. This was like a 30-minute episode. I loved it. I look forward to the next episode, and I absolutely will be buying her as a Hot Toys when she gets released. Yeah. Now, even though she's very voluptuous, the whole Rule 34 absolutely does apply to her, though. So I welcome it. I really do. I thought it was a really, really good show. I do, and I can't wait. Obi bloated Kenobi. Did you just get fake Bantha boy? Did you make Obi bloated Kenobi? I don't think he looks bloated. I do think he does look very android-like. He doesn't look very human-like. He looks like he's a synthetic symbiote type android from Westworld with the eyes. But I don't yeah, I don't really no, it looks really artificially fake. I'm referring to Kenobi. This isn't Hot Toys though. This is I want to say this is a statue, Darth Maul. Oh, Iron Studios. Oh, wow, looks like I spent a little bit of time. This is more of the Star Wars cut footage I took from the show that I kind of focused on. Oh, that's right, the Geonosian Battle Droid and the Super Battle Droid. We haven't gotten the Super Battle Droid as a pre-order yet. Expect that one to drop anytime soon. Surprised it's been teased multiple times, though. The Geonosian Battle Droid is on pre-order, and the Death Trooper. This is the special editions here. This is the chrome black Death Trooper, and then the silver Clone Trooper. And this is what I'm talking about. This is just they're going bonkers to the walls here with Clone Trooper, Clone Commander, Clone Pilot. This is tough because I really would love to build a really cool clone army. The purpose of this video is just to kind of help jog your memory. Like, look, they're showing us a lot of good stuff here. The Grand Inquisitor from the ever so Obi-Wan Kenobi show. Let's not forget about all the other stuff that they've been teasing. That is the Arena Boba Fett, which I just got an email today on that they were going to be charging and shipping pretty soon. We have the Bark Speeder with the sidecar. That's going to be a hefty little price. It's the vehicles I'm worried about. And then we have the AT-RT here, which I'm still 100% very positive this guy's going to drop. I absolutely do. And I'm going to want it. We have Trooper. Yeah, that just looks badass. Yeah, it just does. About 27 inches is what the AT-RT from standing from top to bottom is. Yeah, it's just awesome. And then there's two versions of the Bark Speeder than the regular Speeder, but it comes with its own exclusive. And that's the thing too. That's where they're going to get you on that Bark Speeder, is the exclusive driver on that speeder, where you're only going to be able to get if you get the Bark Speeder. It's that stuff there. It's that stuff that really drives me bonkers. Then we have animatronic Kenobi here again with the floating rocks. I'm thinking back to the fight of Kenobi and Darth Vader when they're throwing pebbles and stones at each other. I don't know if that battle sequence is going to age very well in the coming years. It's very dark. They're throwing rocks at each other. It wasn't over the top grandiose like the Revenge of the Sith battle on Mustafar, where they're just destroying everything in sight and they're jumping over equipment, mining equipment and things like that. I don't know if that action sequence is going to hold up over time. I really, really do not. And then there's Darth Vader, and then this is the Vader from Kenobi that they didn't show you the full feature, right? They didn't give you the full meaning that they didn't with the busted helmet. Where is he? All right, here. There you go, Hayden Christian. There you go, right? With the that does look neat though. It's a cool effect. I mean, it's a cool sculpt. It really does look captivating. It really does. Yeah. It's, again, I think my biggest concerns on this one, it's going to be the body proportion. If they're just going to be recycling the Empire Strikes Back body, or if they're actually going to match the height and body proportions with the actual actor, Hayden Christensen. Big difference. Big difference. They used a lot of clever camera shots and editing and different angles so that you wouldn't stare at it. But if you're watching it carefully, especially if you just, like, for example, if you just watch Return of the Jedi and you jump quickly into the Kenobi show, seeing Hayden Christensen, it's like, it almost looked like it almost looks like a kid, a son, playing dress up with his dad's clothes. It almost does, because you really, and again, there's a specific reason to why the battle sequences and everything happened in the dark, such you wouldn't stare. It's really clever the way it was staged and filmed. Go back now if you're bored. If you really want to go back, I won't punish myself seeing these episodes again. But if you go back and then you really see how they use different camera angles and how they use the light and how that whole fight sequence was in the dark, so that you wouldn't stare to high def. You wouldn't really kind of pinpoint, like, something's off with this Vader. This Vader's been on a diet compared to the David Prowse version of Empire Strikes Back. And I mean, David Prowse was a bodybuilder, right? We know his history. He helped train Christopher Reeve for Superman. I mean, that's his shtick. He was a bodybuilder. And then you see Hayden Christensen on tour, and he's kind of like 160 pounds, and he's there in Star Wars Celebration, and he looks spent. He looks tired. He looks like he's been smoking a pack of cigarettes a day. I'm like that. I'm all about continuity. I just am. That's what I look for. There's a big difference where you see Jeremy Bullock, falling on from Jabba's barge into the Sarlacc pit as a 160-pound man, and then he comes out at 270 like Tamora Morrison, and then you're assuming that there was clearly a buffet at the bottom of that Sarlacc pit. You're like, really? No, something's wrong here. I look at stuff like that, and it may sound like I'm splitting hairs, but to me, that pulls me out of the story. It just does. What you got, Nate? I've seen collectors committed to Matt Damon Kenobi because of the release of the DX Battle Damage Vader. Only time will tell if it will hold up to both pre-orders. Yes. Yeah. Yeah. It's really as how it would. Yeah. You're right. It's the commitment. Who's going to be around next year? I hope people listening and watching me. I hope you kids out there will still be in the game and haven't tapped yourselves out or painted yourselves into a corner. I really don't. I mean, I welcome everybody into the community. The only thing I've ever asked from the community is that if you commit to a pre-order, just don't flake out. That's it. That's all I've ever asked for. All right? Don't punish the local independent comic book retailers that are official and authorized distributors from Sideshow, so that they're not stuck with a lot of dead stock, right? Like Mark over at Alter Ego, where now he's forced to charge a 30% non-refundable deposit because he can't afford to support the flakes anymore. He's been bombarded with so much cancellations. He's like, I can't sustain a business like this anymore. So, and he never collected non-refundable deposits. And now he's like, yeah, I'm going to have to start collecting 30%, which is fine. I stopped day one. I stopped pre-ordering just from everywhere now. I don't like, it doesn't benefit me and my collection to paint myself into a corner. So I've just pretty much stopped pre-ordering. I'd rather just go hunt for the deal now. It's a little bit more work, but financially it's proven more rewarding for me. It's a bigger incentive for me now to just go out and look for the deal. Yeah. Now, if I can get certain figures discounted where I don't have to deal with shipping or no tax, it's kind of like a 7-Eleven free coffee card. Like the 7th cup is free, and if you save enough on 4 or 5 figures, if you save 50 or 60 bucks on tax and shipping, it's almost like earning a free Hot Toys figure. That's the way I look at it. I look at it's just how I've been doing it. I don't need to get any of this stuff right away. It does not help me at all. The book of Buffet. All right, Abraham, you get 10 points. I don't know. Okay, I'm feeling generous. I'll give you 50 points. That's pretty good. See, I'm not the only one that found that funny. I can't be. That was pretty damn good. All right, let me. You have derailed my train of thought here. Uh, yeah, and I've been like scolded by my Star Wars peers on when the continuity falters, the magic withers away. And to me, that's just if I'm not there with my continuity error clip with my clip pad, right? I tend to enjoy the show more. I'll give you a perfect example, like She-Hulk. I never read the comics. I know of her, but I don't know what her backstory is. I don't know how she got her powers or so forth. So moving forward, I really enjoyed the first episode, right? I did. Now with Kenobi, I know exactly where this cat was left off on Revenge of the Sith. All right. So how are you going to write him off the planet into an adventure? I'm going to absolutely scrutinize that from the start to the end because I'm a Star Wars fan and I'm probably an asshole. So that's what I'm going to do. I did it for Book of Boba Fett. I saw the first episode and I just about was thrown into like an asthma attack and I couldn't watch anymore. I'm like, this show is awful. I got all of that from the first episode. Like, no, they're going to waste my time with bullshit Tusken Raider flashbacks. They wasted my time already on showing him inside the Sarlacc pit. I didn't need to see that. Don't treat your audience stupid. I saw his introduction at the end of Mandalorian season 2. He just showed up and he was wielding the gaffy stick like a cheerleader baton, right? He was just twirling it and and he was throwing jizz rockets off of his knee pads or something like that. So he came in swinging like that, right? And so I didn't need an explanation. All right. If I saw him fall into the Sarlacc pit. Don't waste my friggin' time explaining how he got out. I'm assuming he got out because he's there twirling a cheerleader's baton, right? Cracking skulls on stormtroopers' helmets and things like that. So when I saw that's how it started, I'm like, oh, F no, they're going to waste my time here. I go, no. And then he spends most of the show, I understand, without wearing a helmet. No. That's not our Boba. That's not the classic trilogy Boba Fett I grew up with as a kid. We never saw his face. He was mysterious. You didn't know who he was. He was like the man with no name, right? Clint Eastwood style. Just a badass, right? Until you realize his warranty ran off of his jetpack and he trips and falls to the pit. And well, tough luck, right? Goodness, self-inflicted by alter ego. Yeah. We need more DC. What do we need more? We need to bring balance back to the Force. We need to stop this hemorrhaging that's happening with the market right now and all of this buying and selling. And it needs to heal. It needs to balance. Yeah, because I don't like this buying and sell bullshit.
Yes, I'd say it's a full-scale panic. Are you having a run on the bank there yet? Well, it's rather brutal here. We're advising our clients to put everything they've got into canned food and shotguns.
I'm telling you, I love that meme. That's what the community is right now. Oh, I don't like Marvel anymore. Buy, sell Marvel. And then when they realize that they're only getting like $120 for one of their Marvel figures, and then they're like clutching their pearls on their neck, because they're like, how dare they only offer me? I'm like, well, what do you expect? Everybody's unloading all their Marvel schlock. I go, that's not how a market works. When they made way too many Thanos and they made way too many Thors from Infinity War, yeah, it's gonna saturate the market. That's that's what happens. And then the collectors who bought duplicates and triplicates hoping to make a quick buck realized and that they weren't the only ones who thought like that. No, it just doesn't. What I mean, that's what it was, right? Cheerleaders baton. That wasn't. He was. I mean, he was right. He was twirling the gaffy stick, right? Wasn't he doing like a cheer or something? After who really cares about Marvel after the OG gone now, though? What are you talking about, HKS? I still have love for Marvel. They just announced a pre-order for the Mark III 2.0 diecast. Finger licking good, man. There are some in the community that are building the original 7. And Hot Toys has blessed us and revisiting the original Mark 1 through 7, right? Because we have a Mark 1 diecast coming out pretty soon. So there is absolutely still love. It may not seem strong to you, but the market has spoken. Star Wars Hot Toys are being discounted almost no different than the Marvel. So there seems to be very little discrimination going on there in the secondary market. Seems like both is taking a big dump, right? How many of those short troopers did you really need? Apparently, a lot in the community feel that they didn't need short trooper leader, short trooper grunt, short trooper this, and so there's a little bit of saturation going on there. Yeah, with respect, right? It's your oh God. Help me out. What's he Danoby wants Howard to pull up Palpatine and send his newly anointed Vader to sack the Jedi Temple and bring about the first steps to the Galactic Empire. The Hot Toys Revolution. Who's to say that Howard Chan hasn't already done that, right? Who's to say? Isn't there rumblings within the community right now as Toy Wonderland and their current shenanigans and delayed shipping and so forth? Wouldn't it be it'd be interesting though if someone paid them a visit in person and they show up to their warehouse and they knock on that door and then they open it and that warehouse is empty? It'd be like a scene out of a film. There's just like dirt and trash on the floor. Just it looks like they got tipped off and they packed and moved overnight. And as you walk into the middle of the warehouse that's empty and vacant where TW used to be, there's like a business card on the floor with someone's face on it. You can only imagine whose face that would be, you know. Look, we are living in a day and age where almost a 50-year-old company disappeared overnight. Talking about Eagle Moss. Never say never, right? I made it very clear on the live stream that I thought Hot Toys would disappear last year. I really did. I thought Hot Toys was like, oh man, they're in trouble. They're gonna just be pruned out, snapped out of existence. But they're back in full force. They're throwing pre-orders left and right. They're opening up new flagship stores every year. It seems like cutting ribbons, kissing babies on the forehead, shaking hands, right? You would never suspect that anything was wrong, right? So it could be all legit. It may not be. I don't know. No, I don't know. I am currently collecting on Yellow Alert. My shields are up. I don't trust any of these companies. I'm not discriminating against any of them right now. My main concern is curating my collection and protecting my wallet. I don't trust Hot Toys. I don't trust X06. I don't trust InArt. I don't trust Sideshow Collectibles, right? They keep running into faux pas and mistakes and the community loses their shit when they don't get their email on time. I mean, you think a bomb was dropped on their Oh God, you think it was the end of the world? How dare Sideshow not send my email to let me know when I'm going to be charged on the pre-order that I clicked accept all the terms and conditions. Uh, so I look, I don't trust any of them. I don't trust. You know what? I kind of trust Mondo Tees for now. They haven't done me wrong yet. All the other ones, companies I've mentioned, have all shown signs of darkness. They've it's kind of like a dark cloud, a dark Sith cloud looms them. Hot Toys, yeah, they're flexing, right? But so was Eagle Moss just a few months ago. Eagle Moss was established in the late 70s, for crying out loud, and they just poof, they were gone. So I don't trust Hot Toys. I don't trust Sideshow Collectibles. I don't know who's running their offices over there. I mean, for all I know, it could be Kermit and Fozzie and Gonzo. The Electric Mayhem could be in the main warehouse running like the forklift back there. So I don't know who's no. Then we have InArt, right? Releasing another fourth figure, fundraising. They haven't released anything to the public, and we're all supposed to take their prototype photos at face value, right? And and say I do, right? It's kind of like InArt is asking you to marry them. And you're like, I do. You're like, but they haven't produced anything yet, right? They haven't done anything. Then we have Sideshow Collectibles and their 1/6 lineup. What have they been putting out? They've been putting out Toontown characters, right? They're like, fuck this. I go, we're just going to start making Toontown figures, right? So, and apparently that's not enough for the community because they're all losing their shit over the sculpts and the fabric and the continuity errors, I guess, with the patterns and so forth. I don't know. I stopped watching the cartoon. I moved on from that. So it's competitive out there. There's a lot of players right now. Blitzway's not doing figures anymore, right? They're doing high-end statues, and that's a whole ball game right there, dealing with statues. What do we got here? Eagle Moss was a big shock. It sure was. I'm still broken over that crap. Mondo is very solid, absolutely. What do you have here? J-Rod, I've been in a few hobbies in my life, and by far the worst are the 1/6 collectors. Yeah, we are a bunch of divas, aren't we? Huh? They complain about everything. So are you surprised them complain about delays? I've just come to terms. This is the world we live in, and which is fine if this is the world we live in, and they expect us to adapt to their needs, then I'm going to adapt to my needs. Meaning I'm just not going to paint myself into a corner and pre-order this stuff, right? I don't know where they're going to deliver this shit. When it shows up, I'll cross that bridge when I get to it, right? If Sideshow runs out of merch, there's going to be Hong Kong resellers that are probably going to be able to provide it. Dependable, reliable, trustworthy Hong Kong resellers. So I haven't seen, once I see evidence, once I experience evidence of a need for me to go back into day one pre-ordering, then I'll be the first one to tell you, oh, look, guys, it's balls to the walls, crazy out there. We got to go back to day one pre-order. But I haven't seen that, and I don't expect to see that anytime soon. Definitely not this year. Oh no. The best has yet to come. We have the Nightmare Before Christmas. We have the end of the year where every retailer has to balance their books, or as I like to say, cook the books, right? So yeah, if you can survive this, wait till you get to the Nightmare Before Christmas. when they're all going to start sending those invoices, multiple, assuming you've painted yourself into a corner and you decided to day one pre-order, it's not going to be a pretty picture. It just isn't. Another pre-order, so many. Ganesh Paramanathan, another pre-order. Master Skywalker, there's too many of them. That's right. It brings that Eagle Moss eulogy was beautiful tonight. Brings a tear to me. Yeah, the Endgame Loki, boy, what happened to that one, huh? Yeah, it's gonna be a doozy. Let me go through these photos here really quick. So there's only going to be one edition of the Grand Inquisitor. We talked about the price. The price has been released. Pre-order price, $15.90 Hong Kong. Estimated sideshow, I added about 29%. You're going to be looking at around $260. There only seems to be one edition, thank God. Only one SKU. My rule of thumb is that there's 2 SKUs, the shit will sit. So this potentially could be a small batch. It may. There's only one SKU. So, and the way the show was received, it could very well be a small batch. It could very well be. If I had to guess, I would assume this is going to be a small batch. It's still not going to spook me, though, into pre-ordering it, though. I'm still going to wait until it arrives. Head sculpt looks great. The little red beacon in the chest lights up. USB-powered lightsabers. It's cool. It's a cool figure. I mentioned earlier I wasn't sold on it, but just like everything else, for the right price, free shipping, coupons, incentives, I could be persuaded to add them into my collection. Yeah, because I even said that on the 2012 Captain America, where I'm like, I don't need another Captain America. I'm fine with the Avengers Captain America that I got. But the fact that the new version, I was able to pick it up discounted, it did push me over the edge to buy it and pick it up. And I was very happy with it. I honestly was genuinely very happy with the Captain America. I loved it. It was pretty cool. Very neat. Because I was able to buy it below retail with no shipping, and shipping was included, and there was no tax. So you tend to enjoy things when you get a good deal. It's just how it is. Versus you overpay for a figure to get it early, and then a couple months later, it's being subjected to a Sideshow Rewind coupon. And you're like, did I really need that figure that soon? Did it really make sense to have it? No, it really didn't. What I find weird is the constant hate for Hot Toys whenever InArt drops a new pre-order, spouting out the end of Hot Toys. Why so much passion towards it? They're lost. Anybody that would assume that InArt is a Hot Toys killer or even fair competition, they're just blinded. They're lost because InArt hasn't provided anything yet, right? Just prototypes and pre-orders. Let's not forget that Chronicle Collectibles, before they filed bankruptcy and disappeared, they had quite a bit of merchandise on pre-order, including 1/6 scale figures. One of them being the Conan the Barbarian, which I was looking kind of forward to. It looked pretty decent. I saw it on Sideshow. I saw it on San Diego Comic-Con back in 2018 or 19. Yeah, 2019. So, am I saying that InArt is going to go bankrupt? No, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying don't judge a book by its cover. You should really wait for the final delivery. We've learned from history, especially from Hot Toys. Hot Toys has a habit of constantly changing their prototypes, what was shown, to their final delivery. That's what happened with Sir Tony Stank, right? That whole situation with the head sculpt with the Mark 85. So they took a shortcut. They thought nobody would notice, and the community lost their shit. So if InArts delivers a fantastic product, let's just say, look, let's just assume that InArts delivers a top-notch product, a phenomenal figure. Wow, this is just a masterpiece. Great. They still have to make it to the finish line. And what I mean by that is that they still have to meet the market demand, meaning are collectors going to buy it, right? Because their top of the line Joker is still $1,000. When those invoices are sent out to collectors, are they going to commit? Are they going to bat? Now we're using the same collector community that couldn't even keep up their commitments to $250 hot toy Star Wars figures and Marvel and so forth. Only time will tell. How would you feel if you committed to $1,000 InArts figure Joker, and then 2 months down the road, KG Hobby is just decided to knock off $200 off the price? You're not going to feel very good about that, are you? That could potentially happen. There's nothing worse in retailer than dead stock. So InArt they have a long road ahead of them. They just do. They have a few challenges that they have to overcome. And this is a market that took years for hot toys to master. Hell, Sideshow's been doing this for what, almost 20? And they still can't produce a decent fucking 1/6 scale figure. I cringed when I bought the Lando Calrissian in the suit, in the undercover disguise for Jabba's palace. I sold the head. I thought that head was such an insult to Billy D. Williams. I go, this is atrocious. I threw away the box. I sold the head, and I just kept him in the in skiff disguise. I go, that sculpt the paint application was trash. The sculpt was horrible, but keeping the mask on, I go, this is passable. He can stand next to Jabba. And again, this is Sideshow. They've been doing this for almost 20 years. So it is 100% a leap of faith with InArts. And they could prove me wrong. And if they do, I'll give them praise for it. Yeah. Sure, why not? I'll give them praise where praise is due. But I'm still skeptical, right? I'm still skeptical that the demand will be there. How many collectors out there are going to commit to a $500 Gandalf? Or how much is Pennywise? Which I don't understand, because I thought the Hot Toys Pennywise was phenomenal. I thought they did a bang-up job on that. I don't know why we needed another Pennywise in the market, but clearly some folks feel that they need another Pennywise in their collection. Or it could be their first one and they missed out on the Hot Toys one. It's fine. I'm happy with my Pennywise. I just am. What do we have here? Andre. I'm hoping X06 isn't too inconsistent with the quality of their next generation releases. Need them to be good. Boy, you're just preaching to the choir on that, aren't you? Yeah, I stopped pre-ordering X06. I was not too happy with their the Doctor. I love Star Trek Voyager. I grew up with Star Trek Voyager. I watched it when it aired, and Robert Picardo was one of the breakout stars on that show. It was him and Seven of Nine and Janeway, and then on occasion was Tuvok. So I wasn't too pleased on how they portrayed the Doctor. And then Tuvok has yet to be decided. I did not pre-order Tuvok. I'm going to probably wait till I see the final product out and about to decide if I want to move forward with Tuvok. I hate buying things under peer pressure, and with X06, it feels like with the Star Trek Voyager line, it feels I'll be buying them under peer pressure, meaning like, well, who else is going to do it, right? You know, it's kind of like you know you want it and you have to buy it. Who else is going to give you 1/6 scale Star Trek figures, right? So they could, that's just how I feel. I'm not going to be buying all of them. I'm not going to be buying any of their Strange New Worlds or Discovery figures. And they are bouncing from crew to crew. So I'm guessing in another year or two, I'll probably be able to start the Voyager line, because they are. I mean, they just. I got the email on Captain Archer going into pre-order tomorrow. So now we're in the Enterprise. So now we've jumped into the Enterprise team. We've jumped into the Mirror Universe original TOS series. We are in the films, The First Contact. We're also into the Next Generation, right? That was teased at the show sign. And then what did I see at San Diego Comic-Con? Oh, then they had the Wrath of Khan is what I saw at San Diego Comic-Con. The Wrath of Khan with the where they were standing behind the chair. So yeah, we just got to keep an eye on them. I mean, at this point, they've also been affected by the market too. I've seen how the X06 figures are being affected in the secondary market. But to be fair, though, it's not just them, though. It's everybody right now. It's Marvel, it's Star Wars, it's just everything. Unless you are selling something that was produced as a limited batch with a finite number attached to it, meaning like a HasLab, a Kickstarter, or something, you're going to be selling a piece of merchandise on the secondary market that most likely is saturated. And it sucks though, because we're as collectors, we're dealing with high-end 1/6 scale figures. So these aren't Marvel Legends, these aren't Black Series, these are pretty up there. So yeah, it's a tough one. Yeah, it's a definitely tough one there. My opinion, the X06 Star Trek head sculpts are terrible and not worth buying. The QMX figures were far better. Well, it doesn't say much, since QMX only did like what, 3 in the 7 years they had the license or some shit like that, or right? They did the original series, they did one Picard, and then they called it quits. And they teased a ton of crap, because I would always visit their booth at San Diego Comic-Con, and they would tease all these prototypes that were never released. So their line was very paltry and dismal. So they didn't really do much with it. So yeah, because I have the Picard, the QMX Picard. It's okay, right? It was a fine figure. And then they did the like Kirk and the chair and Spock and a few others. It wasn't a lot. It was like a handful of figures. They never took it anywhere. They just kind of sat on it. So yeah. Riley, what up, guys? Grand Inquisitor. Okay, Hatsui, show me what you got. Oh, they're gonna show it to you, all right. This is one of those. This is one of those what if figures. Meaning, is a collector's gonna support it, or are they gonna pretend to support it, or are they just gonna go, nope, not for me? It's a tough one. This is a tough one, because it's linked to a controversial show, right? Split decision show, Kenobi, right? It's a tough one. It looks cool, like the whole Grand Inquisitor lightsaber there and everything. Head sculpt looks great, the suit, everything. But do you love it enough to spend almost $300 on it? Yeah, that's a tough one there. That is a tough one. I am gonna end my little Star Wars rant here, and I'll stick to the record. If they release Reba, yeah, I'll get her. I'll get her. I would. I probably would. Yeah. But with coupons and free shipping. I don't want to pay full price for any of these things anymore. I just don't. I get annoyed. I just lose it when I'm spending all this money, and then 2 months later, Sideshow is giving you $5 shipping with a 10% coupon, because I don't need any of this right away. I want to collect it. I want to curate my collection, but I don't need any of this shit super fast. I can wait. I'm still waiting on the Andor speeder bike. I want to know who's going to give me the best deal for the Andor speeder bike. It's coming home, but I can wait. I can absolutely wait. I can see the Inquisitors being chase figures to complete the Sith shelf. It will be years before that happens, since we got so much to do with the other figures right now. Yes. Yeah. Because, Nate, if you listen to me, if there's multiple SKUs, the shit will sit. This only has one SKU. There is no deluxe. There is no high-end. There's no Sideshow exclusive. This is a one SKU deal. So the algorithms for this one changed dramatically. And this figure has a lot going against it. He's a side character. He didn't get a lot of screen time. It's linked to a controversial show. It's going to be $300 when it's all said and done with shipping and tax. And once he drops, he's probably going to drop in a saturated drop zone where it'll be competing with other products that are going to be sitting on the shelf, right? By the time this guy drops, when this guy drops, what are we in? We're in August. This is August. When this guy drops, it's going to be competing against Ghostbusters. I shit you not. I'm thinking next year fall, Ghostbusters hype is going to climb back up. The Ecto-1 After Life will most likely be released by then. The HasLab Proton Packs will drop. There'll be hype on the new movie that's already has a release date. Blitzway may release Ghostbusters. So on top of Marvel and all the other Marvel figures that'll be dropping, it's going to drop in a saturated market. That's one of the reasons too. I don't even want to pre-order anymore. Because when he's finally released in Hong Kong, you may not feel the same way in a year's time. Feelings change. They sure do. I think it's time to call it hello there. No, Saint ain't so, Anagon. Yeah, I think I'm going to call it quits. I think I've said my piece on Star Wars. You know, I love Star Wars. I really do. I love Star Wars. I just don't trust it. I expect the Star Wars train to hit a brick wall traveling like at 300 miles. And I'm not talking like Amtrak. I'm talking like Japanese bullet train speeds. Like, boom. Like Star Wars fandom is just poof. I don't get that feeling with Marvel. I just don't. But with Star Wars and how it always seems like it's walking like on thin ice. I try, Eric. I really, really do. I really, really do. Great discussion. I appreciate it. That's my thoughts. I'm trying to help you kids out there. I don't want to see anybody fall and stumble. I feel that's what's happening right now. Thank you. Yeah, it's time to go to bed. Thanks for another awesome midnight run. I had a blast. Thank you, Pop Moses Film. Thank you for joining. And, remember,
First time?
Yes, I'd say it's a full-scale panic. Are you having a run on the bank there yet? Well, it's rather brutal here. We're advising our clients to put everything they've got into canned food and shotguns.